Welcome to Bituminous Kole, and welcome to part 2 of my celebration of the Indiana Railroad's 40th anniversary. I do love the red and white locomotives. I love that they operate 7 days a week. I love that they survived the changes in the industry from where coal was everything. They showed adaptability to make it to this milestone. So let's go to the second part of my salute to the Indiana Railroad. Let's go to the trains. Well, let's go to Senate Avenue Yard in Indianapolis and take a look at something new. For the 40th anniversary, the Indiana Railroad has introduced a heritage unit. Indiana Railroad 1986 is an overhauled GP 38-2. Now, the first look I had of it was before the numbers and logos were even visible. Since then, an unveiling and a launch has happened. It was held at Senate Avenue, and we can now see the livery in full. The unit is numbered 1986 to commemorate the 40 years of operation. As of this moment, the unit has not yet entered revenue service, but I fully expect it to have its first revenue run very, very soon, probably even by the time this video goes live. And of course, we'll seek to capture that as soon as the opportunity presents itself. Looks like I'm going to need to update the checklist, the Bituminous Kole checklist for the Indiana Railroad. Yep, going to need to make some space on there to put 1986 on it. At the same time, before this show is over, that checklist will get updated and have a second lump of coal. Ooh-ah. West Avenue is just one of those locations that it makes sense to stop and have a look, because you never know what's going to be happening there. In this case, I was between the Avon Turn and Bargersville for the Senate Avenue Hiawatha, took a stop at West Avenue and found a simple switching move. This single car is going to be delivered to Superior Industrial Solutions, which is adjacent to the Senate Avenue Yard. Like I said, you just never know what you'll find, so it's always worthwhile to stop there at West Avenue. And now, it's time to go somewhere else that's always worthwhile, Tulip Trestle.
Well, at Tulip Trestle, Tulip Viaduct, Bridge, what is it? 76-6 or what have you, X76, who knows? Like so many things in railroading, this bridge behind me has many names, and they're all valid. I have no preference. Can't see why there would be. Anyway, I mean, as long as everybody gets the point and shows up at the right space, right? That's the thing that matters. But railroading, y'all know it. Think of caboose, or is it cabin car, etc., on and on. Well, the best thing about today is this is my first return to Tulip Trestle since the Santa train was here. And we've returned to daylight savings time, and that makes it possible. And it not being flooded makes it possible, because this area was under a considerable amount of water just a week ago. So it's amazing to see it now not entirely under so much water. So
Oh, and I beg pardon, I forgot another name for the bridge, the Richland Creek Viaduct. And there's Richland Creek passing under the viaduct.
That one actually surprised me. Normally I hear the horn so clearly when it's at some of the other crossings up the way, like at Salisbury, what have you. But as you can hear, there's some competing sounds here. Not that it's a bad thing. At the observation area, there's some grading going on. There were big stone piles when I arrived, and then in the meantime, a man showed up and he's doing some grading on site. And I don't know if the purpose of this is to extend the parking area, which would be lovely, or if it's a drainage project, or it's a little of both. I don't know. But anyway, I did catch it with all three cameras. Whew, by the skin of my teeth, I tell you. But it was a good catch, good train, and it's so great to be back here at Tulip Trestle, Tulip Viaduct, bridge number, what have you. All of it's good. It's just such a great place to see a train move, and it moves slowly enough that you can really get some good shots. Yes, I'm on the wrong side of the sun. The observation is north of the tracks. That's the way it goes. There are worse things. But I knew I was going to try and come out here today. That's why I wore my Illinois Central shirt here. The old bridge is part of the Illinois Central, part of the high and dry line. And yeah.
Oh, so good to be back at Tulip Trestle, etc. I think it's been well established that it is one of my happy places in Indiana, if not the happy place for catching a train. And so I did reference earlier the Santa train. I'm going to show that again, even though it has its own feature, because this is a special installment of Bituminous Kole, and that was a very special train. So let's have a look at the Santa train. I just love that they do cool stuff like this. Look at that line of vehicles and people along the roadway. So many people came out just to see the train, with Santa, of course.
They were moving across there too.
Keep in mind that the Indiana Railroad runs the Santa train most years. I believe every year, but give them some wiggle room there. Anyhow, they announced the schedule on their Facebook page, FYI. All right, let's get back to the present to see some more trains caught on March 19th, the day after the Indiana Railroad's 40th anniversary. Let's go to the track south of Senate Yard by West Avenue. Let's see the Avon Turn. I'm marveling at the clearance between the top of the stacks and the bottom of the decking of the bridge. It was certainly a surprise to see these two GP38-2s pull up the rear behind the very long train, and it made me wonder, my gosh, am I in Altoona again? Am I at Gallitzin at the tunnels? Is this helper service? I think it was used to build the train. I doubt it was helper service to get it on the move. It was curious to me that the signals, the lights kept flashing and the bell kept sounding. So traffic was unsure of what to do, how to proceed, should they proceed, etc., etc. Then they got a clearer indication that they should just wait a while. Not that they all did, mind you. Our pair of Geeps is now clear of West Avenue and heading back to the Senate Avenue yard. And as those Geeps have left West Avenue, so will I. I will head back to C.P. Dale, where I can next catch this same train. And, not incidentally, have another look at those Pennsylvania Railroad position lights that are on borrowed time. What sights from Sexton Park? The position lights still functional and lit, and our train about to cross the diamond at C.P. Dale. Crazy spring weather in the Midwest. Why, just 2 days ago I was here getting dumped on by snow squalls and shivering, and on this day I was in a t-shirt and sweating. Now this graffiti is interesting to me. $20,000. Wonder what that's indicative of, or reference to. I should ask a teenager or a preteen. They'll probably just tell me 6, 7. And me being old, it'll just go right over my head. It's really quite a long train. It's a daily handoff from the Indiana Railroad to CSX. Generally speaking, this train is typical in that half of it is mixed freight and the other half is intermodal. Now, my intro to the show, I praised the Indiana Railroad's willing to adapt, innovate, and making intermodal traffic a large replacement for King coal certainly qualifies. So as this train moved and continued northerly towards Union Station, I heard a rumble behind me. I decided to turn around and have a look. And sometimes the trains, once they open the slot, they just keep coming. The Louisville and Indiana was not far behind. Look at that, a headlight. Now, I'm not going to show you that train today because this feature is, in fact, to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the Indiana Railroad. Sorry about you, LIRC. You'll get your day another time. As if I call these shots. Who am I kidding? All right, now that we've gone to the trains, a little bookkeeping. Time to update the checklist. We saw Indiana Railroad 7001, the Operation Lifesaver unit. Man, I love how clean they keep their locomotives. Well, it's time to drop a lump of coal for what we've seen. Yeah. Updated. Well, partially updated. We got to add now INRD 1986. We'll get a new checklist in the works. Well, this has been a fun look across the operations of the Indiana Railroad in central Indiana. Yes, I did not catch anything in Illinois. I did not go to Palestine. I did not go to Terre Haute. I did go as far as Tulip, though. When you really want to try and cover the entire territory, you find out that a regional railroad, it's a lot bigger than you think. It feels a lot bigger than it looks on a map. And so, once again, a hat tip to everyone involved at the Indiana Railroad on the milestone of 40 years. It's very impressive, and I certainly enjoy watching your trains. And for viewers at home, I sure hope you have enjoyed watching these trains too. So please join me again on Bituminous Kole, and I'll take you to the trains.